outside is frightful, but fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Now it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I've brought some corn for popping. The lights are...
Hey, how you doing?
Hello
Okay.
there. I am ready to rock
Yeah.
and roll. How are you doing?
I'm doing well,
You're
thank you. So
sleepy.
I'm Santa's
It's
helper,
okay.
North Pole.
All right. Which
We've
one?
been working late. Which one?
You
Santa's
yes,
helper?
you
Which one?
number one, number two. Are you the his
I
official
don't think he has a
assistant?
favorite. I don't think he has a
Oh,
favorite.
okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. That wouldn't be nice. That would be naughty.
That wouldn't be nice at all. So if you're watching right now and you're wondering what's going on, we had to do some
What's going on? I
we
know.
had some challenging to get this scheduled for Monday night or Monday, our usual time. So we decided to do this on Saturday when everybody here or both of us are able to do this. And because I'm at the North Pole and
And
KaZ
you're
is down.
busy and you've got stuff to do.
So we're kind of busy the holiday season, and what we wanted to do was kind of like do like a little bit of wrap up, kind of have a, if there was a Q&A, people can ask questions and things like that.
Yeah.
We kind of do some reviews, some of the things that we want to do for the future and what's coming up. So I want to let you know we're taking a couple weeks off until
2
the new
weeks.
year.
Yeah. We'll be
And
back on the
so
5th, January
Yeah.
5.
so we kind of make this a kind of like what do you call it?
A wrap up, a season
wrap-up,
wrap up,
yeah.
but also a look ahead.
Yeah. And so we're doing this on Saturday because John has a hockey game at 4 until a hockey game to go see, and we had to figure this out. So this is the best day we can do this. So KaZ.
And who am I to keep you from your hockey? I mean, I love hockey too. So, and
Yeah,
it was a holiday present to you too. So come on, I'm flexible.
Yeah.
We're
thank you.
flexible. A little
Appreciate it.
scrambling, but it's all worth it because we love our viewers and we love our show.
Yeah. So we try to do these shows at 4:00. This will be re-aired back at 4:00, our normal time. But if you're seeing this live, that's awesome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah. So there you go. So where do we want to start, KaZ? You tell me.
Well, this is what, number 18?
I don't know.
We've been here since July or August. I mean, the year has gone by so fast. Well, what I would like to do is go down memory lane and talk about the guests we've had, and then talk about who is coming up. Some really exciting people with some amazing topics are coming up starting January 5. And then do our shout outs to people that we've been reading this week on Substack.
Yeah.
So how's that feel for you? Does that work for you?
Yep.
Yay.
Perfect.
Okay, so shall I just kick it off when you want to just
Go for it.
interject or interrupt or hit me over the head to be quiet? Okay. Guests who brought some real clarity and shared some stories that they had never shared publicly before, which
Right.
is what an honor that is because they felt safe to do it. One of our guests, Lynn Broderick, hi Lynn, was very nervous on camera. She had let us know she'd done one podcast before and she was really great. She did an exceptional job. She was worried she was having some Wi-Fi issues, but all in all, she'll come back, of course. But all in all the good stuff we got and we shared 100 tomatoes, or as John says,
100 tomorrow.
100 I can't
Hundred.
even say it.
I can't say it now.
100 tomatoes. 100 tomatoes. Yeah. I call him Hundo. Really, he's like our resident movie reviewer, and he is exceptionally knowledgeable about films, both the most current to older films. He can talk
Mhm.
for, we could talk a long time with him about our love of films, films that we have a preference for. The holiday episode, which was just 2 weeks ago, was just chock a block with our recommendations. We definitely had some recommendations that we liked, and we definitely had some that were very vastly different, some that went off the rails, and that's what makes this fun.
Yeah.
Um,
So he was actually a gem that was
he's such a
discovered. I discovered, I think, a few months ago, and I wrote about him. And I always thought that,
Mhm.
like, the way I just love the name. I love the idea of how he's going to do movie reviews, and he will be back on. And we're
Yes.
thinking about bringing him back on after some of the major presentations or awards that are happening.
Oscars after the or before the Oscar. Oh, I think we're talking about before the Oscars, after the
But
Golden Globes.
probably his
Yeah,
prediction. I'm not sure. Um,
yeah.
maybe we'll figure
He'll
that
do.
out. I don't know.
He'll,
That's still in the works, but he is coming back.
yeah,
And then,
he seems to
yeah,
be a favorite.
yeah, he is going to
And
stay. Yeah,
then, from my perspective, and especially as women, Sarah Oler and Tracy Edwards brought amazing perspectives to us regarding transcending challenging times and moving forward. Tracy, who had a dear friend who ended up being involved in the biggest Ponzi scheme in history by a woman, and Tracy did not end up unscathed, but her attitude, what she learned, how she grew was so inspiring. I
mhm.
mean, don't you think? She just really had, after everything she'd been done, that had been done to her, and all the loss that she had, both personally and financially, she has bounced back. And I think that's, as I said, that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
And
No,
yeah,
no,
please.
no. It was an amazing story.
Yeah.
Uh, and she's trying to do remarkable stuff too. So she's actually figuring things, like she's looking at trying to create a movie out of it, but she also has a website. She
Yeah.
put blogs on there, but she's also now in the middle of trying to promote other writers and make them read their writing.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's good.
Kind to
Yeah,
do that. It's really kind. And Substack, the writers on Substack and the people who produce things on Substack, I've met a lot of them who are willing to champion other people. And that's what I love about it compared to the bigs I call the platforms. But yeah.
right.
Oh, and she's Let's Get Unstuck.
Yep.
So that's her handle.
Mhm.
Sarah Oler, who is the
Yes.
award-winning journalist,
Yep.
who we just got, has been around bullets flying and everything, and just had her last treatment for cancer. I'm not telling tales out of school. She has talked about it on her Substack, and I'm so proud of her. Her attitude is incredibly upbeat, and she just has this energy and this aura of really not just surviving, thriving. She is thriving, and she is starting her own podcast, which she's working on, and just being with her kids and having some downtime since just last week, I think, her last treatment. So
Yeah.
go, Sarah.
Yeah. That's cool. Anyone
Very.
else?
Let's see. Destiny Curtis. It was her first time being on a podcast. And I must say, she was nervous, but I must say she did an amazing job. And she took the leap, has taken the leap to, at around age 40, decide to do narration for books. She did yours. And uh, it proves that everything doesn't have to start in your 20s or 30s, 40s, 50s. I know people in their 60s and 70s who are starting new projects and just going for it. And I think that's amazing. So hat off to Destiny
Mhm.
Curtis. Let's see. So the other I'll talk about the other people that we had, and I hope I don't miss anyone. I'm so sorry if I do. John, chime in. Michael at Broken Toys. I love the name of his Substack. And that came about when regarding his children and his divorce. Was that how you found him? Because you have another podcast now that deals with that. So
Yeah,
I think,
so yeah, I do. So that one, I think I wrote about him. I can't remember. Um, but the idea was he was from a divorced family and how it was parental alienation going on. And he felt that he was kind of like in that, and then he took those lessons and tried really hard to not duplicate that. So he broke the the cycle, I guess is the best way of putting it.
yeah.
And he's trying really hard to be very amicable and respectful, and it looks like the other party's doing the same thing too. So it's a really good win-win for the children. Yeah.
Yes, he did talk about that he and his former wife communicate. They have a very decent relationship. It's not all vitriol and venom, which, I mean, we all want to hear something like that or have something like that. Doesn't always happen, but when you hear those success stories, it's just, it's really exhilarating and encouraging.
Right.
Camille Miller, who came on and talked about being a soul professional and how she's got a business where people of a more spiritual, who are more spiritual, whether it's religious or spirituality, are putting more of that into their businesses and attracting people of like mind. Uh, Sue Reed with Confidence Matters. I love that because it's a double entendre. And she, man, boy, did she survive. She talked about having been stabbed by her boyfriend and luckily being found by two young men and another person. And she's gone on to have a very loving and successful marriage, but she's helping other people really get their confidence back or build their confidence. So my hat is off to her. Mark Wills came on talking about men and domestic violence. He has a very surreal uh, kind of story, a very surreal story about what happened to him. And then Margaret Williams came on with her bigger than life enthusiasm, talking about all the things that are important to her. Have I missed anyone? I hope not. I'm so sorry if I did.
No.
We'll do an entire show about so.
So, we started this podcast back in September the 8th.
Okay. And this is 18 weeks? 17, 18? I don't know what episode this is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Holidays, happy
Yeah.
holidays.
So I want to kind of like give the viewers an understand that we went from just basically a podcast off of Substack, and then we moved
Just
it
the
to
two of us.
just the two of us just shooting shit.
And taking names.
And as we were kind of like moving along with that, we started to be a little more creative, and we started discovering that adding people to the conversation was helping, but also more importantly, the way the production of this has also evolved, because we're also streaming on Rumble, X, TikTok,
YouTube.
YouTube, and KaZ is doing it too. I mean, we're slowly teaching KaZ as the IT person, trying to help her along the way.
Oh, just let me direct. You take care of that.
But the thing is, the cool thing about that, what we're trying to do is expand the Substack writers and those little gems that we find, and we interview them, and hopefully they get cross-contaminated in a very positive way into other platforms.
Cross-promoted. Let's not contaminate them. Promoted.
I'm just joking.
No one needs any more contamination. There's enough in the world. Ugh, help me. Yeah. Yes.
So the idea is basically to help broaden the reach of other writers and the gems that are in Substack, and put them on other platforms, and hopefully we all get recognized down the road. So that's really what we did. So we upped our game a little bit. We're still learning the platform. We're still learning a bunch of stuff. We're working on the production side of stuff. So we evolved since day one when we're doing this. It has kind of like leaped and bounds. And I remember the first days that we were trying to get this thing going, and to today, we're still learning. And part of the pause is to help us organize a little better and get a little more concise, a little more precise, but also work with our guests coming on board. One of the things that we do with our guests, I just want to touch base with that, is, the 3 pillars of this podcast is about stories, soul work, and Substack. And it's always about that. And the reason why we want to talk about the stories is because we kind of want to know where the genesis of where this person came from and why they did what they did, and not in a negative way, just kind of like bring people along the way, and then
Up to speed. Yeah.
but then talk about the soul work and what it took to do that. And Substack is really about writing. And why did they leap into writing? Was it a healing process? Was it just a legacy thing that they needed to do? And how did that transform them? And if you look at through all our guests, every single one of them, that's how they kind of like progressed through this. And Substack has been some type of leap into a different world where they start to expand their horizons, and they're starting seeing opportunities that they once didn't see. So that's the premise of the show. And
we're seeing these transformations that are happening with the guests, how they're evolving, how they're moving forward, regardless of the original story, where they are right now. And not every one of our guests is on Substack, which is absolutely fine. But we still want to make sure we have a tie-in with Substack. We're always giving shout outs, which we will do soon, to other writers and creators that we enjoy the previous week. And I think that's the environment that we have on Substack. I see so many people bolstering other people and preventing what I call the bigs attitude kind of infiltrating into Substack. You see Substackers speaking up and saying, no, that doesn't work here. That's not what we're about. I mean, a bit protective, because this macrocosm, it's growing, and people are just seem to be so interested in helping each other, which also helps themselves.
Yeah. So with that said, when we're talking about, Substack has its dark spaces where it does approach in places
it's
like that.
Social media, no matter what anyone says.
And most of us are triggered over keywords or key situations. The idea is you're in self-control of yourself. So whatever you post on there, it will bounce back to you,
in some way.
Yeah. And so this show has purposely tried to not be political, not to be religious, and not just be spouting opinions of
giving advice
or something like that. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of our language and some of the things that we say are from personal experiences, because those are the things that I believe you learn from people that have gone through that, because we all go through in life in different stages, very similar. And if we learn about those, we learn from those things, maybe that might help someone along the way and say, you know what, that might help. I understand that now. And, but also those who've gone through the pain have something to relatable with. And we've both been through some tragic moments in our lives. So we do get relatable stories that we kind of understand where that person went to. So we probably have better questions to ask because we were familiar with that. So it helps the stories. But the idea is how do we transform that into literature? And that's where the category of all our writings is. So if we stay in literature, and anybody that infiltrates that needs to understand it's literature, and we're not going to spew all that stuff. We're not about that. And the good thing about it is people on Substack see that and they try to stay away with it. Now, there's people who are very political on Substack, and that's
of course.
And and there's people out there that advocate certain things, but I will not comment on it. I will not
That's there.
say anything.
That's, yeah.
And
Sorry.
I mean, I have Twitter for that if I want to say something.
Well, the thing is that we talk about through our own experience, but that's all we have.
Right.
Everything else is secondhand or third hand. It's someone else's experience, it's gossip or rumor. We can only talk about our personal experience. And that's why it's so great to hear other people's personal experiences and how they're transcending that, how they're moving forward, how they've grown from that
Right.
as they've evolved from whatever negative challenge that they've had until today, because we stagnate and just tread water if we just stay. That's why I love Tracy Edwards' Let's Get Unstuck. If we stay stuck in our emotions, if we stay stuck in the pain, if we stay stuck in the suffering, and there's no forward movement.
Right.
So that's wonderful things that a lot of our guests talk about, uh, was more of, this is what I learned. This is how I managed for a while, but this is where I am today. And it's really, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So the other thing is that when we so I think this so as we move forward, I want to be a lot more forward thinking. Like we're going to be involved more about other things. We're trying to mix the media up a little bit. So we're going to do a lot more short videos. We're going to have more long format videos. We're also going to have writing, and it's going to have its own things. You're working on projects. I'm working on projects, but this is where we come together to do this. Now, this is our show for the most part. And what we do is, we come together just because of this. The idea is to keep the show at 4:00 every Monday, go live. And I know sometimes that
Stuff happens.
it could be a challenge. A birthday gets involved.
A hockey game. My birthday is more important than your hockey game. No.
But no, completely understandable. But that's how. But the show has to be a little bit flexible, and that's why you see.
Yeah, of course.
So when so I hope you guys understand. I hope you appreciate that. That's cool. So I'm going to talk a little bit my future, not the show now. So as I move forward in the new year, I'm reducing the number of articles I'm writing per week. I was doing 5 per week, and that was a lot. I mean, I would spend a couple weekends and I would pump out like several, and I'd get my head. And I know I'm not ahead right now. I'm actually within margin of not having an article published, and that's sort of intentional. I'm trying to post all the ones that I've not completed, or not have been posted, and post them up and get them out, because I want to start a fresh new platform. I want to change that direction. But also the cool thing is that now the divorce, real stories and real lessons podcast, that is going to be more of when I have somebody to talk to, and that's going to be sporadic. It's not going to be consistent.
Is that an evening show? Because the first one you did this week was in the evening.
It's going to be
Or
based
is
on.
it?
It's going to be scat. There's no rhyme or reason. It's whatever the guest and I have. And it's going to be typically fathers, right? So fathers
Right.
talking, and that's going to be a long format because that needs some time to breathe, because there's a lot of stories that need to be heard, and the person needs to kind of go through their process and to explain the story. And so as they go through it, so it could go 2 hours easily.
Oof.
And that one did go for 2 hours, and that was intentional because there is a lot to understand. Now, obviously, if a person comes on and it's all one-sided, that's going to be an issue for me because there's always 2 people at fault, right? But if the person's, you can kind of sniff that out pretty fast, based on my experience in that world. And then so back to my subs. So that's every so often. The 3 days writing, I'm going to try to do in remembrance. I have a category in remembrance. It's usually historical content, so I'm going to keep doing that.
Mhm.
And then I want to do something about a write up for the upcoming podcast, so you have that. And then Fridays is going to be mostly something that inspired me to write, whatever that looks like. So those are really the three themes I'm going to be writing. And then I also have another project I'm working with Hassan, and thank you,
All
I see
right.
Hassan, for joining us. And
Hey,
we're
Hassan.
we're working on a project, and it's moving, but we haven't got back together, which, and partly it's my fault because I haven't had time. But that's about an historical content of family legacy. So we're gonna be talking about that, and that might turn into a podcast as well, just to kind of like talk, like that would be like sort of like either interviewing people or talking about what we discovered that day, and kind of get people along, hopefully get people along the way, and then just build media and content as we push this along the way. And then hopefully it turns into a book, and how that looks like. And right now we're working on timeline. We're trying to figure out how things move along. We're looking at prominent families in the area and see how they got connected. And if for those who just want a little bit more clarity, we're in 1944, northern Italy, and the Nazis have actually occupied the whole region. They're killing Italian soldiers. They're taking the Jews, sending them to concentration camps, and the Italians there became a lot more resistance. There was a resistance, but now they're really resisting, and they're working on the underground of actually getting the Jews' families out of that northern Italy. And one of them was a mule run from northern Italy, where the Veneto, Trevisano, and all that in that region, going into the mountains and going into Switzerland for their safety. So and there's a priest involved, and some of my prominent family names and other people's family names were involved. So it's pretty cool story. I didn't really understand it until actually Hassan and I were talking about it, and we were doing some research, and we are like, wow, this is an interesting project. So that we got that. That's why I'm losing some stuff down.
Well, this is how excited you are about it. And I'm going to tell everybody how excited you are about this. And it sounds like a very interesting project. One evening, I'm at the Universal Studios Holiday Parade, and I get a call, and it's John. And it was at a time that he typically doesn't call. So I go, okay, I want to say, and he is so excited, and he's doing all this research, and they're, playing like any producer does, connecting people and talking about Hassan and how they relate to each other. And I hadn't heard you so excited about something in a long time. So the fact that it's related to your heritage and you're putting all of these pieces of the puzzle together, I'm really looking forward to what you do.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's just putting time together. Christmas is hurting us, and
Well, that's why we took the break, because we are
yeah.
both busy, and it's good for downtime, and good to kind of recapitulate and get a little more rest. And it's the holidays. I mean, families
Yeah.
are together, and there's celebrations and meals and all of that. So I just think it's a smart time to take a break. Well, should I talk about who's coming up so far
Well,
for
why don't
next
you
year?
talk about
Oh,
yours?
me,
Yeah.
my stuff. Oh, well, my latest book, the perfectly messy thing called life, poetry and stories on being human and the fine print, will be coming out imminently. My publisher and I are just putting the final touches on it, which means I'm being incredibly anal. So that's one thing. Then I've got this podcast. I have a podcast coming up, so I'm getting my ducks in a row for that. My producer and I are talking a ton. I'm talking to people who have asked to be on the show when they heard about it. This will be my fourth podcast that I've personally done. Um, I thought I had a name, but I've decided that that one, the name I was going to use, doesn't really cover it all, because we're going to be talking a lot about clarity, a lot about moving forward, upbeat, lighthearted, Yeah, that'll be coming in the new year, and it might be random because I'm kind of random myself. I write on Substack. I'll write a ton, and then I am just little snippets. But what I am loving lately on Substack, I am meeting all these people and we're having these incredible dialogues, and I'm restacking them and they're restacking me. And it's not just solely to amass all these subscribers and these followers, it's actually interaction and connection and finding similarities and discussion. It's just the most, to me, it's the most real social media that I've ever been on. I mean, I started out with social media kind of kind of in the beginning, and then I left, and when I came back for 7 years, and when I came back I didn't recognize it.
Mm.
So places like Substack are, and I think what I love, and I think I'd mentioned this before, is that Substackers really are so protective of the platform, protective of each other, themselves, other writers, other creators, that any infiltration that feels bad and feels counter to even what the Substack CEO and the people who run Substack, they're always putting out these, if you haven't really clued into them, they're always putting out these little gems and these little, last week it was about notes, and it was about restacking, and it was about conversation. That's how they want to keep Substack different. So me, that's what happening for me, enjoying my life and spending time traveling and getting more inspired. That's what's on the, and another book next year. So that's
Oh
what's on
wow,
my table. Yeah. Ah! So yeah, that's what's happening for me.
cool.
Um, but yeah, let's talk about who's coming because I'm
You
super
know what?
duper
Sidebar.
excited.
I'm gonna go down to
Sidebar,
I didn't
sidebar,
realize I did this intentionally, but I'm wearing a green shirt and a hat, and I said
and a red
Santa's
hat.
helper, and I'm like, I'm an elf.
John the Elf, Elfin
I,
John.
I
Oh,
didn't
Elf, get
realize
it?
it until now.
Elfin
I was like,
John,
geez.
Elton John, Elfin John. Never mind.
I just want to touch one thing. If and I don't think I covered that well, but as guests come on, you're more than welcome to reach out to us if you have a compelling story or you want to talk about your Substack or your story. Please feel reach out to one of us. We love to hear from you. We love to put you on the schedule. Next year, the schedule got
For all of our
froze.
podcasts,
Yeah,
if you've got a
yeah,
story for all three of
any of them.
our individual ones, or this one that you feel is in alignment with what we do, drop us a note,
And
message.
also the other thing, the reason why I want to touch base on this platform has capability of putting additional people on here versus just having
Right.
one person. So, or two, three people. We can go into 4 or 5 in a row. So I don't know if that is ever needed, but that's a possibility. So this is the reason
Meaning
why we're
4 or 5 guests. That means like
yes,
4 guests or
yeah,
three
yeah.
guests. Yeah, to
We
have
can
a nice community conversation would be fun.
right. So as we progress further, things will develop, and that would be kind of good to do that. So the idea for this platform is to help you grow and get your name out there, to get people to get to know you and get people to understand who you are. You may not have a podcast, or you're planning on starting a podcast, or whatever that case may be. And Substack, just to kind of give you a little bit of understanding, Substack loves community organization. They want you to foster. They want you to be participating each other. So cross promoting each
Cross
other,
pollinate, cross pollinate.
cross pollinate, cross contaminating, how you want to call it.
You can cross contaminate. I'm going to pollinate.
But the idea. Oh, Remy left. Okay.
Rene.
Yeah. Um, So that's what we do. So that's the concept. That's what we're trying. That's the goal for this show, is to really promote Substackers. So if you're here, you're listening, and you may be part of the show, just reach out. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm sorry I interrupted you earlier. What
No, not
that's
at
it.
all. It was worth it. It was important. So, upcoming for the new year, we're already booked pretty much through February. We've got My friend Deb Eckerling, who will talk about goal setting and networking. She's also involved in helping people write their proposal for their book and getting it to the right eyes. So she will be, don't miss it or see the rebroadcast because she has so much information. She's so enthusiastic. I think you'll really like her. Diane Britt Smith, another good friend, she's going to be talking about pivoting to your purpose. So wherever you are now, she pivoted from being in communication for decades and is now she went into acting. She has sponsorship. She does commercials. She loves being. Her Instagram account is really busy with her talking about health and wellness and attitudes and moving forward in life. So I think you'll enjoy her too. We also have Kristen Cofield, another friend. We'll be talking about active grandparenting. Now, John and I are not grandparents. You're not a grandparent yet, are you, John?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, but Kristen, she has been on social media, Instagram especially, for maybe 12 years. And then she had grandchildren and she started talking about what it takes to be an active grandparent. And there are grandparents in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. These aren't just people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, but how you need to be active, to take care of your grandchildren and to help your children with their children. You need to be aware and be able to pick them up and be able to step in when needed. So whether you're a grandparent, you know a grandparent, you're becoming a grandparent, you'd like to be a grandparent someday, I think you'll enjoy that. This is one of John's connections. You might want to talk to about Deanne Ames. All I can introduce is from what I've read in her bio is that she's a retired family and marriage therapist, although she does keep her license. And I love what she says in her bio. It says, I write to encourage myself to find peace, hope, and simplicity. So, do you want to elaborate a little more on Deanne since
So I
that's
wrote a
your connection?
two-part story about her, I think sometime in October. And she had a very interesting storyline. And part of the storyline was I made a comment about her. I wrote about her and then I reflected on that story. And that it was funny how she become a therapist because her story starts with pain as a child. There's some
Oh,
I don't want to cause issues in a sense, but there's well, I mean not issues. In
trigger
there,
anyone.
I don't want to trigger anybody. I don't want to. So it started really young, and she was basically abused by her parents or her mother or a stepdad. There was a bunch of things going on there, and I'm sorry, I'm not really fresh on the story, but it started really young, and then as she progressed, it got worse, and then finally she found some direction, and then she was able to move on into becoming a psychiatrist or a therapist, I think it is, and now she's trying to help others, or she was helping others. Now she's retired, but she is now writing a book, a manual of it, memoir of it, and I think it's like I don't know how far she's at, but she's been working on it, and it's a pretty intense book by the sounds of it. So yeah, I don't know where that sits, but she's a very interesting person. She has a lot of insight, and she writes some cool things. So if you should look up to what I'll do in the show, I will tag all our guests in below, and then you guys can follow and follow them or whatever.
Get familiarized with them before
Yeah.
the show. Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
I'll do that before. Yeah.
That sounds. I'm really looking forward to meeting her and having her on. So Jennifer Wrigley will talk about women flourishing over 50 because that's a huge topic. Perimenopause, menopause, divorce at midlife, health issues, but how women over 50 can flourish. And if you're not over 50, maybe forewarned is forearmed, because there are a lot of things that happen uh, with women the same. Some of it is different. Not everybody's menopause or perimenopause or premenopause is the same, but there are similar things that go on. But she mostly talks about getting out there and being the best you can be, helping you discover who you are and move forward with that. And we're working on, we haven't booked her yet, but one of my dearest friends on the planet, Josie DiVincenzo, who is an award-winning actor, award-winning director. Actually, she directed me in the play Electra for the New York State Theater Festival, which won an award. We're going to discuss, and it will be interesting for John, if he has an experience with this, to weigh in, disordered eating and how we transcended that from pressures of the entertainment industry. And not enough of it is talked about because, again, women over 50 are having more disordered eating than ever before. And it's a problem. And how do we transcend that and get back to a feeling of we are enough? So
So that's actually, let me just touch that. I just had a physical
oh, good for you.
in the
Well,
middle
that's
of the
important.
holiday season. And the doc said you gained 10, no, he said you gained 5 pounds since the last time I saw you. And, this is happening, this is happening. And I was like, well, doc, you put me right in the middle of the holiday season where I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I can only do so much. And he goes, stop eating.
Oh, yeah. No, I won't have that pecan pie. The cannolis, forget it. The turkey. Yeah, we'll just pass all this Italian food that I've cooked for the holidays. I'm just going to sit and watch everybody else eat it.
So yeah, that was funny. So,
Oh
and he's
my
a card.
gosh.
He's a card. He's a good guy. And yeah, he
He
goes,
couldn't have been serious. Obviously, he knows you
no,
and he knows your humor and your personality.
he goes,
So,
well, I said, well, you don't have to tell me that. That's what Marie tells me all the time. She goes, oh, I have one of those too at home.
oh boy. Oh my goodness. So do you have shout outs this week for people we read or videos that we saw or notes that really seem to impress you this week? Not just impress you, impress upon you.
So I have a shout out called Michelle Brittenton, and she's actually on she's watching a live, I think, still.
Hi, Michelle.
And
Welcome.
she's from Canada. And
Oh, Canada.
yeah, and she's retired, but she has a lot of cool writing and stuff like that. And so she's actually been a very quiet supporter of mine, and I'll give you the story what we're trying to do. She wanted a signature book, or me to sign a book of The Quiet Miracle, and so I sent it out there. Somehow or another, UPS decided not to ship it further than where I'm living, and it's been sitting there kind of like idling for the last month. So I just felt bad for her, so I resent her a new book, and also the earned
Not given.
yeah,
Earned,
yeah,
not given. John, what's the name of your book?
earned not given.
I know it, for
I'm
goodness
having a
sakes.
brain fart this morning, this afternoon.
You get the excuse you didn't sleep last night, so I get it.
So I'm not on my game, so I'm sorry. So I sent those new books, and I'm still waiting for that to come back. So, but she's been a very good supporter. She's a good person. She writes really interesting stories and things like that. And but she's been like a early supporter of mine, or had just became a supporter of mine this year, and she's been very forthcoming, and we've been corresponding back and forth, and that's where I think that's where most of my I think that's where most of my, like, we all want to get praised, right? And encouraged. And sometimes you get some hate. sometimes.
Right? Sorry, I lost my light.
But it's really nice to hear from somebody that says, this is great work. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. Because, that kind of goes a long way for someone who is, well, I was very small at one time, and I'm starting to grow, which I'm very appreciative. I'm very thankful. And to get that encouragement along the way, regardless of what size you are, it's always nice.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I try to respond back to everybody. I try, and sometimes I don't, and it's not intentional. It's just I either missed it or I just got so sidetracked that I'm going in a different direction. So the cool thing about it is Michelle is a very sweet lady, very
Go with the
charming.
flow. No,
Yeah,
no
no easy. And
expectation.
she could have just and the reason why I bring up the book, I mean, she brought it to my attention originally. I tried to figure it out, couldn't figure it out. And I was like, okay, let me wait and see what happens. And nothing transpired. And then I felt really guilty, not that she didn't get a book. So even though I didn't sign it this time, that went out. That's the kind of stuff that, you want to do more for people. And that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff where, and especially the holiday season, as we're coming into this, it's about, those type of things help people.
Well,
Because
they're appreciated.
yeah,
They're
they need it. They
appreciated.
need to hear it. And I think that it's helpful and so I'm appreciative of, and a lot of people do that too. I mean, that's just not just one person, but there's a lot. I choose to only have one shout out per week because I want to make them special, but KaZ has 15 shutouts.
Not this week. You're telling me that all my now you just insulted my shout outs. So like, I'm not special. She shouted me up, but I'm not special. John, you're gonna get hate mail. I'm special. Maybe she has a heart big enough that she wants to spread it around, spread the love. Nah. I only have 4 today. So I pre-warned you that, but it's just, we have so much love in our hearts. We need to just share a lot of it, because there are so many people writing and producing such great stuff that I can't help but have, a whole laundry list, grocery list of people. I loved that. I love what that person said. I love how they phrased that. I love their response to me. I love that they thought enough of me to follow or subscribe,
Oh, absolutely.
But I know you're kidding. That's how John and I are. So many people have mentioned your personalities are so different, but you seem to work. Well, I think we're still kind of surprised about that too. I'm a bit over the top, and John is your steady as she goes, And I love that. It's a cohesion. So yeah.
So no, I mean, that's Michelle's a good person, and I you get to know them on a personal level obviously through writing and through all their work and their generosity and things like that. I like to give, I like to do a special thing for someone who is like that follows me and writes me and spends time getting to know me. I get to know them, which I appreciate. So that was like a token of my appreciation for it. So
and this is your big shout out to Michelle today.
Yeah.
Nice. So, do you have more?
No.
Okay. Well, okay.
I mean, everybody so just to kind of sit there, like I try to keep it down to one because I want to make sure it's one. But it's not that everybody else is not worthy of a shout out. I think everybody, I mean, I try to talk about everybody along the way here. And
yes, of course.
Because I think that's important. So
yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have 4. And I hope I get your name right. Dennis Hedenskog. I hope it's Hedenskog, not Hedenskog. Thought-provoking essays that rethink the grind and reframe modern work so we can carry it all a little lighter. Oh, Who doesn't want to carry it a little lighter? I certainly do. I have a feeling John does too. And our viewers would like to carry things a little lighter. These are actually new people that I've met, except for one or two. Sorry, I lied. Never mind. Scratch that. Okay. Bob de Pasquale, who travels the world and speaks about generosity, just exactly what John was saying. So that's in alignment with John. Meredith Forder, we have been having some dynamic conversation. Um, she's about cultivating inner strength, peace of mind, and fulfillment through wisdom. We all could use a little more wisdom. And one of my absolute favorites, because it's just fun. And every time I see the most hilarious shout, not it's not shout out, the most hilarious line, it's usually a line or two. It's called um In Otter News, OTTER. I love otters. My sister is a professional photographer and photographer and animal expert, and she would photograph otters. And it's just, I mean, who doesn't love an adorable otter? So shout out to it's about otters. It's in Otter News, and yeah, it makes my day. That's it. Ta-da!
That's it. Okay, cool.
That's it. I said only four. So there you go.
So
And I already said about the Substack mindset. So I guess the rest of the show is a free for all.
all right. So what are you grateful for this year?
Oh, it'll take too long.
Come on,
I can't put it to one. Well, I'm grateful for my family first and foremost. Grateful for my husband and my son and my family of friends. I'm grateful that I have the opportunities for expression and that people buy my books. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for my health because I have musculoskeletal issues, and I posted about I get 3 large needles in my hip and in my foot of cortisone because of everything I did for a living. So I'm really grateful for health, and I think that I can't say anymore. And you?
So, I mean, there was a lot going on this year. But I'm grateful for Marie. She's a good person.
Yeah, Marie.
Grateful for my son. We've made a lot of headway.
Good.
There's been, I'm grateful my other son's in Vancouver with my family. I'm grateful for my daughter. I think she is in school. Like I said, we don't really communicate, and there's reasons for that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to bring that up here, but I'm grateful for some of the stuff. I'm just grateful for all the good things and even the worst things that happened to me this year. They all made me better as a person. And I'm also grateful for everybody on Substack who supported
Yeah.
me, who still supports me, who encourage me, and even the haters out there. They make me a better person.
Well, just like your guest on your other show, he said that. He said, once he started talking on TikTok, he got lovers and haters, and he got criticism, and he got, compliments, and it all, makes him better. I'm grateful for you because you brought me in as your sidekick, and then you made me your co-host. So I appreciate that you thought enough of me to think that I could contribute something to your idea.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you too. Like, I'm grateful for all these little projects that happen. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, why we do them because we love it's a hobby of ours and we love doing these. Obviously,
No, I'm strictly in it for the money.
there's
Right.
there's no money. I wish there
No.
was. And maybe it's not. And when I say that, I wish there was, is because I would
Never know.
no, I would love to do this full time. It's a fun.
Yes.
I find it fun.
It's work still, but it is a
It's a
lot of
work.
fun.
It's a lot of work. Trust me. There's, but I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for being alive and living every
Yes.
day. Yeah.
Yes. And we're grateful for everyone who's here right now and everyone who has been on this ride with us. And I think I can speak for John saying, I hope you join us in the new year for more and different and better and bigger and
Yeah.
funnier and deeper.
Yeah. So, one thing that before we end, what thing that you learned this year that you think would be valuable for a person on Substack to understand?
Whoa, that's out of left field. Don't give up.
Hmm.
That's it. Don't give up. Because I read too many people who said, I'm out of here. This is not working out the way I thought, or I'm not getting the responses that I thought I would get, or um, I'm just not getting. And it, it takes a while. I mean, you've been on Substack. Have you been on since the beginning? So you've been on here for a while and you have 1,100 subscribers now. That didn't happen overnight. And you will see those posts that said, I posted one post and I got 17,000 subscribers. Like, yeah, you brought your email list over from where you've got a bigger following and boom. But you worked for it. I'm working for it. Uh, I just don't give up. Please don't give up because what you have to say is worthwhile.
Yeah, that's so true. Um, I made the 100 list 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Of literature 3 times. And that took a lot of work. I don't know how I did it. I just did it. And I think a lot of it has to do with a combination of stuff. But that was huge. So yeah, I made that list. First time, one of the top 100 influencers on Substack, and there's like
In a particular category, right? Because there are quite a few
literature,
categories.
yeah,
Literature,
literature,
yeah.
and it was there's like 35 million people on this. And what people don't understand, only 5% continue.
So
Because
yeah, there's a small percentage that actually are consistent and don't bail and just keep working. And I think those are the people who really love writing. They love connecting. They love communicating. They have something to say. They say it beautifully. They say it uh, randomly. It's big. It's small. It's scary. It's mind-boggling. I mean, you can find. I mean, I've read some really good horror. I've read some amazing science fiction. I mean, not just writing nonfiction or um, starting with a journal or a diary and then putting that out. Uh, People who and all of that is valid. Don't get me wrong. Anything you're writing is valid for you and you need to keep doing it. But some people it's just every single genre and every way, shape, or form. People are haikus and senryus and philosophy, you name it. It's quite broad, but it's nice when people just keep going. But 5%, I mean, do we know on an average, if I mean, that is that a small average? Is it typical? Does that happen on most of the platforms
it's
where
so I think so I should talk about my story here. So I started on Substack many moons ago, and I didn't have anybody read my stories, 0. And I started with 100 inspirational stories in 100 days, and
mm,
that was the premise of Positive Pen, was to write inspirational stories of other people and start, talking about their inspirations. And as that progressed, I didn't find, and I understand why people stop. It was like, okay, no one's really reading. But a lot of mine came out of Facebook, out of people like I didn't have a list. I didn't start with a list. I didn't have people like download. I didn't even know you could do that, to be honest. I didn't know you could do that. I mean, if I did, I would have gone and pulled a bunch of lists, but that doesn't really help with your
It
numbers.
grew organically. You
Right.
grew organically.
But the problem with that is you're not really like each person that signs up with me, either we've connected on notes or they saw my article and they really loved it and they became a subscriber. Um, that's how, but that's the relationship. Those who go do a mass dump of their leads, that's what we call them, there's no connection there because, and you're alienating them too, because they're going to be like, well, why am I getting this email from this person?
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
to let you know, so one of the things I tell people now, because I see people unsubscribing, I say, the best way to stop getting all these emails, change the setting in your in your Substack and change it to an just app. Like you can move everything to an app rather than going through an email. So you're not receiving like 15 different or 20 different type of subscribers or articles in your and junk in your mailbox. You can actually divert that all to your app on Substack, and then you can touch base. You can look at those
Read
articles
it at
there.
your leisure.
Right.
Yeah. And it's impossible for people who get as big as you and bigger. I can't even. And I'm not even to 300, but I can't read everybody. I don't have enough time in the day. And I haven't read this person in a while. I haven't read this person in a while. This person's new or whatever. But it's hard. And some writers or creators on Substack have taken, a really hard stance of you need to read everything I write. You need to read every note and every article and I'm like, it's
Oh yeah.
impossible. Please don't put people under that pressure. It doesn't mean they don't like you or even love you. It just means that, we've got more things to do with the
Life
amount of
gets in the
time
way.
time we have in the day. We have
Yeah.
we have other jobs and we have family and friends and all sorts of stuff. Everybody does everything they can to support each other. But
Yeah.
um
We got
don't
family to take care
pressure.
of. We have family to
Yeah.
take care of. We have
Yeah.
jobs that we're taking care of. We
Yeah.
got household items. We got tasks. I'm not saying I don't want to
Everybody.
read people articles.
No,
Sometimes,
no.
sometimes if you could put it on audio, that helps me because then when I'm driving or I'm kind of like walking around,
Yeah,
I'll listen to the
right,
story. So that I can get through more that way than sitting and reading. And then when I hear something, I'll stop and say, "Oh, that's interesting. Let me see where that is," and I'll stop and read it. Um, that's how the other thing to make sure is you put your audio on so that people can listen to the story because a lot of people don't have the time to read because when they're in the car they can just put that play on and boom they'll listen to all your stories.
right.
Yeah, and like and we had a couple people that kind of came to us that way and they said you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and I just don't see the value of harassing somebody to the point where it's them or nothing.
It's pressure. You don't want to have any, I don't want to have anything to do with you if you're not supporting me all day, every day. And that's control and it's not freedom of choice. So
No, and that's not
yeah,
what Substack's about. It's
not at all, not at all. But things change, people change, attitudes change. And
yeah.
yeah, we move forward the best way we can. And like I said, keep writing, I just had this question. I don't know, I could put it out to the viewers. Um, where do you think Substack might be going from here? Because I know initially it was just the articles and you had to find your readers. And now when I hear or read the CEO of Substack talking about notes and restacking and things like that. Do you have a feeling since you've been on Substack since the beginning of where I'm not talking about algorithms. I really don't want to talk about algorithms, but um, do you think that a lot of people are doing podcasts, but a lot of people are not, and a lot of people do podcasts and write. Some people do none. Some people do only notes. Some people do only newsletter articles. So, how do you have any kind of crystal ball predictions?
So coming from a newspaper background, that's me. I look at this as a media company.
Mm.
And the media company has a mix of everything. It has long format stories, long format podcasting, short videos, short notes. And I think it's a mixed bag. If I'm going to be honest, it's a mixed bag of
Mhm.
everything. When I started, there was no notes, there was no podcast, there was actually no audio at the time, and the
Mm.
audio is AI generated, so you don't have that. But when I came back again and I started to write, and it was a short break, it wasn't a long break, I started to gain momentum pretty fast, and there was a lot of and those a lot of my earlier followers that were actually tagging me on Substack kind of withered away, which is
Right.
shameful because I wish they still stayed around. Now there's still that. I see this in 2 or 3 categories. I think there's going to be always readers that love Substack for the content, and you're always going to get that. And then you're going to have people who take it more of a serious media company per se, and take it as like we're not serious. I mean, serious. I mean, telling you right now, if we're a lot more serious about this would be a completely different driven show. But we're serious
Do
enough.
tell. How's
Well,
that?
we're
Do
serious
tell.
enough to say, we want to spread the voices of others across all platforms. So we jumped onto this. TikTok finally worked today.
Ah,
So I finally got TikTok. We're live
I'm
on
so
TikTok.
scared of TikTok. I've
Right.
tried it and then I'm like, I don't know if
No,
I
but
have
I got
anything.
followers on there, and but my point is that's that. And then I think you got people in between.
Mm.
And I think with notes is a game changer on
Mm.
Substack.
Mm.
And I see it with my post. But my post, like, I just didn't want to dump stuff on, like, I try to do a couple things. I have restack.
You're very prolific, though. You are very prolific with your notes.
Oh, thank you. Um, but those, okay, when I do notes, just to be clear, it's the moment. I'm writing and I just got an instant thing, and I'm kind of like, whoa. And that's my moment. That's my thought at that moment. There's nothing. I don't go get quotes. I don't like, or I might hear a quote and I kind of regurgitate the phrase, but a lot of it comes from, when I say, oh, I wake up in the morning and I'm grateful for this, that I'm actually just thinking about that, and I'm putting that out there. So, and I look, or I see a picture and I get inspired by that, and I try to put something together on that. So when I'm doing notes, it's that moment. Um, and I mean, I'm grateful for it. It's probably why I'm gaining subscribers and followers, and I appreciate that. Um, so like but that helped me to just, and it helps me to keep in the moment of writing. Notes helps me to stay consistent. Now today, I've not posted any notes today. Zero. I've actually, since I think yesterday afternoon is probably my last time I posted something on notes. And I typically put like 3 or 4 notes a day.
Hmm.
And I haven't, because I have my own stuff going on.
Life
that
going on, and
li-
we did this early.
yeah.
So,
And so there's a lot of things going on. So that's that. But I think with notes is a game changer. I think that's where people are going to get really connected with each other. It's a quick back and forth. You're seeing that all the time. And I think because it emulates a little bit of Twitter and it emulates a little bit of Facebook, kind of it's similarities there.
maybe the
And
best stuff about the more cream of the crop from other platforms instead of the stuff that's not as helpful.
Well, yeah. So, but I also do long forms or I used to do long forms on Twitter or X, and I didn't get really much. Like, I would copy and paste the same story on Twitter, and I wouldn't get much of the hit because no one's into
Of
long.
notes, because I thought it was only what
No, no,
100,
no.
150
Well, even
characters,
notes,
200.
like
Oh,
notes,
but I
like
mean, it's
five.
like two. How many characters are you allowed now on X Twitter?
Oh, it's a long format. You can actually really write.
Really? Wow.
You can write articles there too if you want to. But
Wow.
but my experience there, I actually did a study. I actually did a research. I did uh, Twitter, X, Getter, right? There's another platform called Getter, and I did Substack and Facebook. I think it was
You
like
haven't
4 or
done
5.
things like Blue Sky
Well,
or
I did Blue Sky too. There was Blue Skies.
Clapper or any of
No, I
those.
did Blue Sky. There was like 4 or 5 platforms I decided to do.
Threads, which was an
I didn't do
offshoot of
Threads.
IG. Yeah.
So I did those five, and the research that I came up to, Substack was number 1, Getter was
Hmm,
number 2,
I've heard of that.
Blue Sky barely got any net recognition, and
Really?
Twitter, I even though I have over 8,000 followers, are not responding to my post unless I talk politics, and that doesn't make sense because I'm on there for hockey and
That's
just
why it
give
says it's that's why it
and
says
to
it's
give politicians
X.
a hard time. That's what I do on Twitter. I give politicians a hard time, like in a very professional way.
La 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 la.
So, uh, and I'm not, and I'm free to give that same opinion to all politicians. By the way, no one is, no one's sacred to that. Um,
No comment.
so, uh, so I did a study, and Substack and Getter were my two, and I still kept. So what I do post to kind of get you know this. So when I post my notes, I put it on Notes, I put it on X, and I put it on Facebook, and I put it on Getter. Getter continues to give me the hits the views and all that, and even though it's like 2,000 plus followers, I get a lot of hits there, like comments,
Do you
things
do
like
these
that.
individually? Or do you have a
No,
a
individually.
platform that does it
Oh
for?
no,
Oh, that's a
I
lot
would
of work.
I would
That's a
love to
lot of
do that.
work.
Yeah, I
That they
would
have a
love to
just.
do
I
that.
mean, there are plenty of platforms or apps that will distribute it for you, but of course for a fee. I don't think
Right.
there's any free ones out there. If anybody knows,
No,
uh,
I was looking into that, and I think I got sidetracked for whatever reason, but I do that individually, every single one of them.
that's a lot of work. No wonder you're so busy.
Yeah, but it's like when I do that, I might be in a meeting and it's really boring. I think about something, or I'm like sitting around, just sitting there, like, and either on Twitter and I'm seeing all these pictures that pop up. They're very beautiful, or I'm reading an article, or I'm just doing something and something triggers me, and then that's when I have that thought and I post on Twitter and I post on.
Does it trigger you or does it inspire you?
I'm sorry, inspire me,
I was
not
like, oh no,
trigger.
John, don't get
No,
triggered.
no, not trigger. No, but yeah. So I would suggest if you're gonna be consistent, you have to stay consistent. You have to pick a schedule. Like I did 5 days, and it was okay when I was only doing one media. When you have multiple medias and multiple projects, it takes that.
Tons of work.
It's a lot of work. And I do long format articles. I mean, I write at least 1,500 words per page.
See, I'd need a VA to do all that for me. Somebody who I said, here it is, put it out there. And they
Yeah, but
just,
you do poems. Like poems, I'm not saying they're
yeah,
easy, but poems, it could be
no,
short or it could be long
yes,
form. And it's usually less
yeah.
than 500 words.
Well, I've had some prose that has been 4 pages long. It just depends on how inspired I am at the time. But my poetry in general, yes, would be shorter. And then I typically have been writing articles related to what we've talked about on the show. My last article I wrote about, I don't understand why people are surprised when you're nice to them, but I guess it's the world we're in right now. But yeah, I'm enjoying the interacting right now. I'm enjoying putting this up there for rebroadcast and doing clips, and then I share the clips with my YouTube and my Instagram, and yeah,
Hmm.
and then just carry on with life.
So the other thing I also saw was chat, like your, because they also allow you to have a private chat with your readers.
Yeah.
And since Tracy gave me an idea from last time we talked about, she goes and she opens the chat to people to drop their articles in there, and I did that, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to repost their stories, and that's what I've been doing. So I think that might be a theme that I'll do every couple weeks, just to kind of see how it goes. Because I
You
like
just gave me
reposting.
an idea.
I like reposting people and restacking them. Like I think that was really what I was doing. A lot of restacking, which was cool. And I think you restack people, it kind of gives them. I like restacking people that are small accounts. And
I restack it all, and I'm telling you, even some of the people with bigger accounts always come back and thank me,
oh,
or
good.
make a comment, because I restack with notes always. I don't just restack with no comment or no note. I restack with my own input, and 99.95% of the time, the original poster will come back and thank me. It doesn't matter how big or how small they are. So that's really
Well,
cool.
I like to help the small guys because I was small once. I want to see them grow too. So that's how I look at it.
Well, and it's interesting because I've seen people with bigger followings and subscribers, uh, they'll restack me. I would restack something that they said, and they kind of go, "Oh, I want to I'm going to take a closer look at your profile." And then I post something and I see somebody, wow, they restacked me. So I
That's
think,
cool.
well, yeah. And I think just because you're big, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10, whatever you are, um, the attitudes I've seen from a lot, I can't say all of them, because some of the really, really big ones have zero time. They're probably not even posting their own Substack. Is that, yeah, they started out once on Substack, and they wanted to grow on Substack, and they knew what it took. Maybe they've been here since the beginning and knew how hard it was to grow, and they're willing to give other people a leg up. I mean, I'm hoping, maybe I'm putting that out into the universe, please do that for others. But yeah, so,
Yeah.
well,
Well, yeah.
should we
So
wrap this up and thank everybody thank anybody? I guess you didn't say anybody had any questions or anything,
no, I didn't
comments.
ask. Does anybody have any questions? Like, I want to just give a quick shout out to people. Mike
Yes.
Stein, Nate
Mike,
Hale,
Nate, Richard.
Hogan, Shannon,
Oh,
Bill,
Richard Hogan. Hi, Richard.
Jennifer, The World
Jennifer.
According to Grace,
Hi,
Beyond the Limit,
Grace.
Susan, Wayne Bird,
Wow, these are all,
yeah,
some of them are newer to me. Oh, that's
Elizabeth,
exciting. Yeah,
Elizabeth,
get in touch, everybody. I would love to follow you and subscribe to you. So
Hidden
please.
Resistance, Hidden Resilience.
Resilience, I follow them now. I love Hidden Resilience. I just
Okay, cool.
discovered them this past week. Thanks for being here. Wow.
Lynn Cass, Hassan, Joe
Hassan.
Nicholas,
Joe
Jenny Lynn.
Nichols.
Yeah,
Joe
Nichols.
Nichols.
Yep.
Hi, Joe. We just had a conversation. He posted about a tragedy he had in his life, and support for retired military, current military veterans, how they're getting a lot of, well, including my husband, getting a lot of their benefits cut, and a lot of the things that they joined the military and were promised. And yeah, Joe, personally so sorry about your situation, and thank you for dialoguing with me.
With that said, if I miss anybody, I apologize.
Yeah, just message us and and give us the business. How could you forget about me? I'm sorry. Or
So
life is busy.
in the meantime, I want to say thank you for everybody that are watching. I also want to say thank you for being part of our community
Yeah.
and follow us if you're following us. If you haven't been following us, follow us and we'll follow you back. And the thing is that we're looking forward to 2026 and we're very
The year
thankful.
of the horse.
Yeah,
The year
oh
of the
boy.
horse. Hard
And
work.
we're very thankful, KaZ.
Well, we're just in the year of the snake this year, which was shedding. How many people out there have been? You've been shedding stuff this year. Get it off
Yeah.
of me. The year of the horse will be.
Jose is
Yeah.
here, KaZ, and he says hi.
Jose, hi, Jose.
But I want to just say, thank you for following us, being subscribers, paid subscribers, everyone. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry,
What?
I mispronounced his name. Lori is here too. It's not Jose. It's Jose. It's Gose. How do you say that?
Jose.
Jose. Okay.
Not Jay. Jay
Oh,
or
it's a
G?
her. I'm sorry. It was a her. I apologize.
That's his fault.
It's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is she? Yeah. Do you tell him?
Yeah. She's giving me shit.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Anyways,
Tell him how to. Well, John has said many times he has dyslexia and he has trouble pronouncing things. So
it's like Rosie. It's like Rosie with a J. Josie.
a J.
It's a Josie.
Josie.
Yeah, she's been friends with you for 20 years.
That's my friend. You said Gose. That's one of my dear Josie. I love you. I'm so sorry. He said Gose, Jose. Honey, I'm so sorry. I will call you and profusely apologize for John. Yes, she's going to be on the show. She's actually been really a great supporter. She's the one where you're going to book on the show.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But now she's not going to be on it because you screwed up her name so profusely.
I'm sorry.
She's going to pick up the phone afterward and say, what's wrong with your co-host? He's tired. He didn't go to bed till 2 and he was up
She
at
said it's
6.
okay. I just couldn't understand.
Yeah. She's very cool where that's concerned.
All right, cool. Anyways,
right.
we appreciate everybody
We
that
appreciate
joined
you
us.
all.
And
I love that instead of the heart.
And for all those who are celebrating the holiday season, wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you're not celebrating,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
In the meantime, and in between time, we'll see you in 2026.
Hope so. All right.
Bye.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but fire